we might be a little bit late, but that still does not change the fact that it's Saturday! You know what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. This is the official Lightning Flash update for April 17th, 2021. My oh my. I never get tired of that. Let me tell you, I never, ever get tired of that. Let us see who we got in the chat as we speak. We got Adam Carl. We got Cool King, a.k.a. Rob Wells Jr. We got B-Tunes Peanuts. How you doing, Peanuts? We got David Maniscalco. Of course, we got my number one mod, Dee. And we got 10 likes already. 10 likes already, and we're not even 5 minutes in the stream, we got 10 likes. That's what I like to see. But I'm going to need you guys to keep it up, and I'm going to need you guys, if you haven't already done so, people, please make sure you hit that like button. We are going to be shooting for the stars today, and we got a lot of news, a lot of newsworthy topics to talk about. We got 5 shows, 5 huge shows with a lot to come out of WrestleMania. Some of it good, so most of it bad when it comes to WWE specifically. But we are going to dissect everything. I would like to thank each and every single one of you for stopping by. Yes, we are a little late. It's because I had a dentist appointment. But on the bright side, I've been told I got absolutely perfect teeth. I got teeth that would make Kevin Dunn jealous. I got perfect fucking alignment. I got my wisdom teeth coming in at full speed, perfect growth. I don't got to get my wisdom teeth taken out. So that's a big plus right there. For once, having a big mouth must have paid off for me. Perfect fucking alignment in every sense of the word. No spaces in between my teeth. This mouth will never fucking have braces. Never. Teeth will make Kevin Dunn fucking jealous as hell. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for stopping by. I hope everyone is doing great. I hope Dee doing great. I hope Rob Wells Jr. is doing great. Peanuts and Adam Carl. We got a big show, but we're going to need some more people. We're going to need some more people here. I got to take a drink after all that. So. We are going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports right after a few advertisements. Now, if you haven't already done so, I don't really know what you're doing, but if you haven't already done so, be sure you follow me on the Twitter sticks at HistoryMaker DJS. You will find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Follow me on Twitter at HistoryMaker DJS. Please, if you haven't already done so, follow me on Instagram as well at the DJ Storms. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is. We are going to continue gaining members no matter what. Lots of good shit. Lots of good shit is to come. I'm going to be streaming, of course, every single Saturday. That's where you can catch the Lightning Flash update, such as this one. Hopefully, from here on out, we won't have to push it back. But regardless, I have had a pretty busy day. Hopefully, everyone is wide awake. I know, Danielle, I know you're a little tired there. I see you in the stream. You say that you're tired. Trust me, I'll be able to wake you up. I'll be able to wake you up. Just wait. I do want to send out a special thank you to everyone who watched the rewind for WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. A combined total views accumulated over 300. That's right. Over 300 total combined views between both rewinds. The rewind for WrestleMania Night 2 obviously did better. Surprise, surprise, I was reviewing Roman Reigns' match at WrestleMania. But regardless of that, both rewinds did excellent, over 100 views. The rewind for WrestleMania Night 2 is actually almost at 200 views. So if you guys missed the rewind for WrestleMania Night 1 and 2, both of those links are in the description. Please go check them out if you haven't already done so. We are about 6 minutes into the video. If you haven't liked the stream already, I don't really know what you're doing. You gotta make sure you like the stream. When you come on in, you gotta make sure you hit that like button. It is not that hard. The link is right down there. Alright? It's right down there. So all you need to do is scroll down and click that shit. It's not that hard. We are going to try and shoot for 30 likes like we always do every single time here on the Lightning Flash Update. The goal is 30 likes. We are already 1/3 of the way there. We are 10 likes strong so far. We got 7 concurrent viewers. If you haven't already done so, hit that like button. We are going for 30. 30 is the goal, ladies and gents. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button. And in order for us to get to 30 likes, besides hitting the like button, you got to make sure that you're sharing the stream out on all platforms of social media, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or Pinterest or the Facebook or the Tumblr. We got to make sure everyone is notified that DJ Storms is live on YouTube.com for the Lightning Flash Update on Saturday. So, I need you to share out that stream on all platforms, social media, and we are going to notify everyone that DJ Storms is live. I'm talking about your mothers, your fathers, your brothers and your sisters, your aunts and your uncles, your grandmothers and your grandfathers, your cousins, your second cousins, your third cousins, your fourth, your fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, your dogs, your cats, and especially your guinea pigs, because I have read thousands upon thousands of articles. I'm telling you right now, people, I have articles saved in my laptop, so much so that they're taking up so much space on my laptop. I have read so many articles that state specifically, and I quote, that if guinea pigs are exposed to DJ Storms, the guinea pigs are said to live long, happy, healthy, fruitful lives. So if you have a guinea pig and you want to get a long, happy, healthy, fruitful life out of this specific guinea pig, you gotta make sure that you share the stream to this guinea pig, and you gotta make sure that this guinea pig gets a dosage of DJ Storms. You already know the drill. You gotta share to your guinea pigs. You already know the drill. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you follow me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, all that other shit. And be sure to subscribe. Subscribe, because there's a little subscribe button right down below. Once you hit it, I'm able to grow. I gained a few more subscribers, so I am steady at 2,113 right now. Hopefully it stays at that number. But if you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit the subscribe button when you come on in. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, and you got to make sure that you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. I mean, it's the only time you don't get to see the glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me one single solitary second. As Mr. Earl Cole states, it's the magic comb, ladies and gentlemen. You already know. And yes, Adam, that is Backlash 2020 playing in the background. You certainly know your shit, because now we're on the road towards WrestleMania Backlash. And that still doesn't change the fact that everybody wants a piece of the Storm's Meister. You already know the drill. 9 people watching. 9 people strong. Anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. Well, actually, one more thing. I actually do want to shout out Mr. Earl Cole. We'll probably see Earl Cole a little bit later on here in the stream. But he actually had his debut. There he is, Earl Cole. There he is, Earl Cole. Earl Cole. He debuted his new show called The Wrestling Experience with Earl Cole. And I believe that Rob Wells Jr. was actually a guest on the live stream with Earl Cole yesterday. So I want to shout out Mr. Earl Cole and I want to shout out Mr. Rob Wells Jr. You guys did awesome. And Earl Cole, that was a very successful debut of your show. I greatly appreciate you showing me support here. And, of course, I wish you luck in your journey. I hope that you continue to gain subscribers and you continue to gain likes and traction, and you absolutely knock it out of the park when it comes to the wrestling experience. So, shout out to Earl Cole. And if you haven't watched the Wrestling Experience with Earl Cole, the inaugural show, please go check it out. You won't be disappointed. Earl Cole is fantastic at what he does, and I hope to get him back on the channel real soon. Anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion, the advertisements. We are going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports, and we got a lot of shit to talk about. We got a lot of shit to talk about, and we're going to start off by talking about a report from the Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer discussed why Roman Reigns and Sheamus both walked out of WrestleMania as champions. Meltzer discussed how Reigns' dominant victory was to build up Roman for a major match down the line against someone like The Rock or Brock Lesnar. He stated, and I quote, "There is no doubt what their intention is, that there is one guy that they are pushing and everybody else is there to, service their one guy. That's what this match was." End quote. Now, Brock Lesnar and The Rock. They want to build Roman Reigns up for these 2 big money matches with Brock Lesnar and The Rock. Here's what I got to say to that. Brock Lesnar, I don't know why Brock Lesnar's even in the conversation to face Roman Reigns down the line with this new Tribal Chief gimmick, and I'm going to explain why. First off, what's the story between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns? Yeah, they have history, but they haven't faced each other one-on-one since, 2018? They haven't faced each other in almost 3 years. They haven't even crossed each other's paths in over 3 years. So what sense would it make to put them together now? Just because they're 2 Paul Heyman guys? I don't think anyone gives a shit whether Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are Paul Heyman guys or not. The story is pretty much non-existent. The story is, they're 2 Paul Heyman guys. Who cares? That's number 1. Number 2, I don't understand why anyone would even want to think about Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns facing off one-on-one, because they faced off 4 times in their career, and 3 out of the 4 of the matches that they've had were jack shit. The only match that actually turned out to be good was the first encounter, and that was at a point in time when Brock Lesnar was not working 5-minute squash matches. That was when Brock Lesnar would actually work. But now you want to have the match between Roman and Lesnar just because Roman has this new Tribal Chief gimmick, but Brock Lesnar, when was the last time he actually worked an actual fucking match? Probably since SummerSlam 2019 when he had that great match against Seth Rollins. But outside of that, Brock Lesnar hasn't worked a match over 7 fucking minutes since then. 2015 Brock Lesnar and 2021 Brock Lesnar, 2 vastly different Brock Lesnars. On top of that, I think everyone is fucking sick and tired, and everyone can attest to this. We're sick and fucking tired of having Brock Lesnar in the fucking world title scene. It's the same reason why we shit on Goldberg, and the same reason why a lot of people shit on Edge. It's because all of these people who are made individuals coming back and getting world fucking title matches? No. Absolutely not. We don't need Brock Lesnar in the World Championship title picture. We don't. And on top of that, Roman Reigns right now, he is being booed for all the right reasons because he is just that good of a heel. If you're going to place him against Brock Lesnar, you're pretty much running the risk of him getting cheered because people just don't want to see Brock Lesnar in the title picture anymore. So I don't understand the logic behind doing a Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match or a program. Makes absolutely no fucking sense. Now let's talk about The Rock. Let's talk about Dwayne Johnson. I don't want to say that I'm against it because I'm not. I don't want to say I'm against it because I'm not. And the reason why is because The Rock and this version of Roman Reigns, it offers a very interesting dynamic. Now, if Roman Reigns was a babyface and they were placing The Rock against Roman, it would have been a complete fucking disaster. But now that Roman has this new tribal chief gimmick, you've seen him on the microphone holding his own very, very well. He's been holding his own exceptionally well on the microphone, and he has come off in a way in which he just oozes cockiness. He's just a natural-born prick. And the way that he comes off is just so natural. The one thing that Roman Reigns really lacked was confidence on the microphone. But now that he has this aura about him, this tribal chief, this head of the table gimmick. He has a certain level of confidence in him that was never seen when he was a babyface. Roman Reigns, he's really held his own, and he's made every single person that he's feuded with the biggest babyface in the company. Whether it be Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan. He's going to do the same thing with whoever else they put in front of him. And The Rock, we all know how good The Rock is on the microphone. One of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time on the microphone. And The Rock, he's just a natural-born babyface. People love The Rock because he just oozes charisma. He's funny. He's natural. We gravitate towards The Rock because he's entertaining. So, I'm not necessarily against a Roman Reigns versus Rock match, specifically because of the fact that it would be very interesting to see how Roman Reigns would hold his own. It would be very interesting to see how Roman Reigns would react on the microphone face-to-face with a guy like The Rock. The build, I expect to be absolute class. I do not expect the build to be lackluster whatsoever. Considering that Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, they have creative control over what Roman Reigns does and how good The Rock is, the back and forth between Roman and The Rock could be some of the best shit that we see all year. So I'm not against it because the promo battles could very well be some of the best shit that we see all year. But as far as the match goes, I don't necessarily mind the match, but in no way, shape, or form should we be talking about The Rock versus Roman for the Universal title. That match does not need the Universal title. That match is a match that can sell itself on its own based on the promo battles between Roman and The Rock. It does not need the Universal title, nor should it have the Universal title. You're really going to put Roman and The Rock at WrestleMania and have The Rock take up a spot from a young, up-and-coming talent? It's the same reason why we shit on Goldberg, why we shit on Brock Lesnar, why we shit on Shane McMahon, always coming back for WrestleMania, taking up spots away from people that should honestly be on the card. People who are full-timers, people like Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, people like Ricochet, people like Gulak, people like Angel Garza, people like Cesaro, people like that. They should be the ones in World Championship title matches, not The Rock. So here's the thing. I don't necessarily mind Roman and The Rock, but in no way, shape, or form should it happen at WrestleMania for the Universal title. If it is to happen at WrestleMania, the title needs to come off Roman. Now, how do you do that? Well, I've been saying it for months. Cesaro's your guy. Cesaro is the guy to take the title off of Roman Reigns. Now, when does that happen? I don't know. And to be quite honest with you, WWE already showed signs of fucking it up this past Friday, actually yesterday, on SmackDown. WWE already showed signs of fucking that up. But you could take the title off of Roman in multiple different ways. Roman doesn't necessarily need to hold the title all the way to WrestleMania. If you want to have him hold the title at WrestleMania, that's fine. If you absolutely have to do The Rock versus Roman for the Universal title, you could easily do it at SummerSlam. You could easily do it at SummerSlam, or you could do it at the Rumble. It doesn't have to be at WrestleMania for the title. If it is to be at WrestleMania, then you better fucking take the title off of Roman. Now, how do you do that? I've been stating it for a while now. Cesaro's your guy. SummerSlam is the date where Roman Reigns can lose the title. That's the earliest date. Roman Reigns needs a title reign of 1 year. He makes it to SummerSlam. He holds it till SummerSlam. If you want to take the title off of him, then you can. Or if you want to, you can set up Cesaro. And then what you can do is you can have Jey Uso interfere a couple times. He can cost Cesaro. Then we can get another match between Roman and Cesaro at Clash of Champions. Then that can go to a disqualification. And then we can get Roman and Cesaro inside Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship. That way, Roman Reigns and his title reign will be well over 400 days, and then you can take the title off of Roman then inside Hell in a Cell. You could easily do that. The one thing that WWE constantly has an issue with is transferring the credibility from one star to the next. Roman Reigns is credible. Roman Reigns has built up a reputation for himself where you're going to take him seriously no matter what. Roman Reigns needs to transfer that credibility to a new star. If The Rock and Roman happens at WrestleMania, it is for the Universal title nonetheless. It's a foregone conclusion that Roman Reigns is going to retain. It is predictable. But with Cesaro in the mix, and you put Roman Reigns against Cesaro, that brings a much more unpredictable flair to that feud, the Roman Reigns character, and what could come in the future for the Roman Reigns character. Cesaro is your man. Nobody right now on the roster is ready. Nobody. I understand that Roman Reigns, he's not going to be losing the title anytime soon, but it is not insane for anyone to map out who Roman Reigns is going to transfer that credibility and that Universal title to. It's not crazy at all. You need to have backup plan upon backup plan upon backup plan. Unless somebody else comes along, whether that somebody else is someone in NXT, whether someone else comes through the rankings, whoever it may be, unless somebody else comes along, right now, Cesaro is your guy. Cesaro needs to be saved. SummerSlam, and if you want to, you can extend the feud after SummerSlam and have Cesaro take the title off of Roman at Hell in a Cell after a 400-plus day reign. Cesaro is the guy. But I don't necessarily mind. Them taking the title off of Roman at SummerSlam. I don't necessarily mind the feud with The Rock. But if that feud is to have the Universal title, then you better either do it at SummerSlam or the Rumble. In no way, shape, or form should we be getting Roman Reigns versus The Rock for the Universal title at WrestleMania. If it is to happen at Mania, take the title off of Roman. No reason for The Rock to be in a world title match. None. Now, moving on, Meltzer went on to say how Riddle was never supposed to be United States champion, which is why he lost to Sheamus. He stated, and I quote, "Riddle was never supposed to be champion. They had to do it because Keith Lee, for whatever the reason is, was pulled. They had to get the belt off Bobby Lashley because they were giving the WWE title to him, and it was one of those situations. They couldn't give it to Morrison because Morrison was in the Bad Bunny angle. Riddle got the belt because there's no other choice. So this rectifies it. Thus rectifying what I said, they never had any plans for Matt Riddle as the United States champion. They gave Riddle the title because they needed to get the title off of Lashley, and Keith Lee seemingly was pulled because Vince McMahon gave up on him. Simple as that. And it was actually reported that Matt Riddle was actually supposed to retain. Which actually leads into my next report. Meltzer also discussed how the outcomes of several WrestleMania matches were changed last minute because WWE can never fucking stick to a plan. He said, and I quote, I told you about 2 of them that were changed the last day. They were finalized, not changed. But I know 2 of the major matches. One wasn't until Saturday, and the other wasn't until Sunday. One of the finishes, the Randy Orton finish, was changed on Sunday, hours before the show, I think. I think there were at least 3 finishes were changed. End quote. Orton and The Fiend, that's one of them. Matt Riddle and Sheamus, I can definitely see as one of them. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, absolutely, I can see as one of them. And the fourth one, I could potentially see one of the women's tag team title matches being changed as well. I could possibly see Tamina and Natalya. They were scheduled to win the titles, but they didn't win. So I can absolutely see that as a match that was changed as well, especially considering that they're continuing that feud going into WrestleMania Backlash with what happened on Smackdown between Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Lashley and Drew, I didn't mind that change. Matter of fact, I think a lot of people would agree that Lashley is better suited for this role right now than Drew. Specifically because they fucked up Drew McIntyre. Riddle and Sheamus, you could swing either way. Unless you're building up Riddle to fight Lashley for the WWE title, which I don't think they are. I don't understand why you would take the title off of Matt Riddle when he never really had a title reign yet. But nevertheless, they took the title off of Matt Riddle, his first fucking WrestleMania, and they had him lose. So, I did not like that whatsoever. It was not needed. As far as the Fiend and Orton finish, this is the one that I just don't fucking understand. You had Bray Wyatt come back from the dead after being burnt alive, only to lose in 6 minutes at WrestleMania. Lose in 6 minutes at WrestleMania to one measly RKO because Alexa Bliss distracted the Fiend, and Alexa Bliss is now taking over the Fiend's satanic abilities. I don't know who the fuck thought this was a good idea, but the fact that Alexa Bliss is taking over the Fiend character, and the fact that Alexa Bliss is taking over all of this, now that Bray Wyatt is back and Bray Wyatt's just being left in the dust, I swear to God, Bray Wyatt, absolutely the most mistreated individual of the modern era. I feel sorry for Bray Wyatt. I feel sorry for Bray Wyatt busting his ass, pouring every single ounce of blood, sweat, and tears to make himself relevant. Twice. And WWE, nah. They just bury him. They just toss him to the side. WWE should be counting their blessings that they have someone as loyal, they have someone as passionate, they have someone as determined and focused as Wyndham Rotunda, employed by their company. It is fucking disgusting seeing a guy like Bray Wyatt, seeing him just waste away. Every single time he's given the opportunity, WWE, they just constantly shit all over the guy. And if he comes back a third time, how is anyone supposed to be invested? How is anyone supposed to care? They already fucked up twice with Bray Wyatt. You really think that they're going to do right by Bray Wyatt a third time if he comes back and reinvents himself a third time? The Fiend is dead. Bray Wyatt is dead. Bray Wyatt's career is dead. Whether you want to admit it or not, I don't give a shit whether you're a Bray Wyatt fan or not. Stop living in a fantasy. Bray Wyatt sucks. The gimmick sucks. The gimmick's dead. Bray Wyatt and his career is dead. And it pisses me off that after everything that this man went through, and after everything that happened in this Randy Orton storyline, one measly RKO in 6 minutes defeats The Fiend, and now Alexa Bliss and The Fiend, they're going into their own separate storyline, or Bray Wyatt, I don't know what the fuck Bray Wyatt's gonna do, and I don't know where the fuck Alexa Bliss is going. But either way, I don't think anyone fucking cares at this rate. Fucking ridiculous. Moving on. I actually got a report on the Thunderdome. Apparently, WWE executive Nick Khan, no relation to Tony Khan, reported that the fans being back at WrestleMania 37 was a one-off until they can get back to full-time touring. Really. Now, he stated, any plans? Yes. Any plans we can share? Stay tuned. But just know that once we're back on the road, we are on the road full-time. We're not looking to do other one-offs. Again, this was WrestleMania, and we felt it needed to be done for the fans. So look for news coming soon. End quote. One-off. One-off. Really. So, by that logic, you are pretty much admitting that you mainly did WrestleMania specifically because the Super Bowl had fans and you wanted to follow in the footsteps of the Super Bowl, but you don't actually want to go back to having fans in attendance. And to be quite honest, this report further validates what I said a few weeks ago. What did I say a few weeks ago? Think about this. What did I say a few weeks ago? What did I say? I said that Vince McMahon, he don't want to go back to full-time touring. He don't want to go back to fans. You know why? Because now he can do everything that he couldn't do before the Thunderdome. Think about it. Vince McMahon, he wants to do everything his way. He wants this guy to be cheered. He wants that guy to be booed. He wants to put this angle on television. He wants to push this star into the title scene even though he or she's not ready. He wants to bury this superstar. He wants this superstar to be a babyface and this superstar to be a heel. He wants to do this, that, and he does not want to be questioned by anyone. Fans, wrestlers, or executives. He wants to do everything his way, and he wants to be told that everything is okay. He is essentially God in this scenario because he can control everything. He can control who gets booed. He can control who gets cheered. He can control who gets buried. He can control who doesn't get buried. He can control who gets pushed into the title scene. He can put angles out on television, and he can get them over in the way that he wants those angles on television to be over, and there's no fan backlash. You think he cares what the fan says on social media? No! There's no live audience. He can do whatever he wants, and he can push whoever he wants, and put literally anyone out there. He could bring back fucking Hornswoggle, put him out there and have him beat Roman Reigns if he wanted to, and he could get Hornswoggle cheered in the way that he wants Hornswoggle to be cheered because there's no audience, and he can get cheers and boos with the push of a fucking button. It is simple as that. WWE is not going to go back to full-time touring. They're not going to go back to fans until they absolutely have to. They're not going to go back to fans until they can operate at full capacity and they can tour. And yes, there is a report that WWE wants fans back for SummerSlam. I guarantee you right now that if we don't have full capacity and fans aren't allowed to go back to the arenas and they're not being allowed to tour again, I guarantee you right now that that's going to be a one-off too. Why? Because the WWE is full of known bullshitters. The WWE is full of liars and bullshitters. This shit only further validates the fact that Vince McMahon does not give a shit. He is operating in his wild fantasy. He loves this. He loves the fact there's no fans. And on top of that, Rollins even came out and said, yeah, I like the fact there's no fans because they're annoying and they boo the shit out of things. And he's pretty much saying that the fans can't like and dislike what they like and dislike. That right there, what Rollins said in that interview, that right there is Vince McMahon speaking vicariously through Seth Rollins. And it's fucking disgusting. You have fans back for WrestleMania. What is fucking stopping you from doing 500 to 800 limited capacity people in whatever arena that you're operating in? The Yuengling Center in Florida? You're operating in the Yuengling Center, right? Why not tear down the fucking Thunderdome, which is a waste of fucking money anyway? AEW's been operating with fans for months now. You could easily fucking put 500 to 800 people in attendance, limited capacity around the fucking arena. Is it really that fucking hard? Is it? Or is it because that you just don't want to do it because then you're running the risk of the fans booing and cheering who they want, not who you want? Vince McMahon can go fuck himself. Vince McMahon can go fuck himself. I got a report from Twitter, and a certain women's wrestler by the name of Ivelisse, she actually tweeted out a sarcastic tweet throwing shade at All Elite Wrestling, and this was actually pretty interesting. She later deleted this tweet, but I wrote it down, of course, because once it's on the internet forever. She implied that she was released by the company. The tweet read, and I quote, "History repeats itself. Unfortunately, I speak up about mistreatment and get let go. That's life." End quote. Mistreatment. Now, I don't know the full story. No one does. She deleted this tweet. We have not heard a statement from AEW. And this is just one side of the story. So, I don't know the full details, and we may never know the full details. And to be quite honest with you, if AEW doesn't release these details, it's really none of our business. It's really none of our business. But here's what I want to say. She said something about mistreatment, speaking up about mistreatment. Ivelisse, La Sicaria, honey. What mistreatment are you exactly alluding to? That's what I want to know. What mistreatment are you alluding to? Because if my memory serves me correctly, you weren't even signed to AEW, and they elected to give you and Diamante the trophy of the women's tag team tournament, the Deadly Draw. They decided to give you and Diamante the tag team tournament over women like Nyla Rose and Ty Conti and Anna Jay and Brandy Rhodes, who's the chief brand officer of the women's division. And you weren't even employed by the company. You were with the company for what, 2 months? You were barely even there for a cup of coffee. You were barely even there for a fucking jelly donut. And they gave you and Diamante the women's tag team cup. And then, a month later, you were given an NWA Women's World title match against Thunder Rosa on live television. So 3 months within the company, and you were given those two major accomplishments in such a short amount of time? You weren't even with the company for a fucking year. What fucking mistreatment have you gone through? What, just because you were featured on AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation? Just because you weren't featured on Dynamite each and every single week? She's implying as if she's owed shit. AEW doesn't owe you jack shit. Who you think you are? You think you're Brock Lesnar? You think you're The Rock? You think you're fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin? You think you're fucking John Cena? You think you're fucking Trish Stratus? You think you're fucking Lita? You think you walk into a company and you're automatically owed shit? No! The AEW roster and AEW management, they don't owe you shit just for being there. It's fine to be confident in your ability, and I know that I'm confident in my ability. I mean, you take a look at how I operate, and everyone looks at me like I'm a cocky prick, which to a certain extent I am. But I'm confident in my ability, but I don't expect shit to be owed to me. I just don't expect to show up here on YouTube and there automatically be 1,000 people waiting for me in the chat. I don't. That shit is earned over time. You earn views. You earn accomplishments. You earn everything. You weren't even with AEW for a fucking year. How can you base anything upon mistreatment? How can you base any mistreatment in this scenario? How can you even say you're mistreated? Britt Baker was the first signee for AEW. He hasn't been AEW women's champion ever. She's been employed with the company for 2 years, and she has not held the title once. Is she being mistreated? No! Shit comes over time with patience. Ivelisse, at this rate, she's coming off like a selfish, impatient cunt. She's coming off legitimate like a selfish, impatient cunt. We don't know what's going on backstage, but there's a lot of fucking people on the roster. There's a lot of fucking people on the roster. You got Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Darby Allin, Cody. You got Hikaru Shida, Ty Conti, Nyla Rose. You got the Best Friends, Jurassic Express, Chris Jericho, MJF, FTR. You got all these fucking individuals, and you're telling me Ivelisse is saying that she expects to be featured on Dynamite each and every single week over all of these individuals? No! That shit don't work that way. You earn your spot. You are patient. No one's fucking entitled to anything. You are not automatically entitled to a Women's World Championship reign just because you showed up. And on top of that, there were reports going around that you no-sold Thunder Rosa's offense. You've been having attitude problems for a long fucking time, and you've been let go by promotion after promotion after promotion after promotion because of your fucking attitude problems. So at some point, you need to realize if this shit keeps happening, it's not the promotion, it's your own fault. It's your own doing. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And again, whether AEW chooses to address it or not, it's really none of our business. It's really none of our business. But at the end of the fucking day, the way that she's coming off, she is coming off like an entitled, impatient bitch. To the max. Mistreatment. What fucking mistreatment? You were barely even with the company for 8 months. How can you base any form of mistreatment off of 8 months? Lance Archer, he's been with the company for a year now. Is he being mistreated? No. He's not being mistreated. He could very well be the next fucking TNT champion. It all comes over time. Patience is the fucking key. I've been employed with my supermarket, the supermarket that I've worked at. I've been employed by it for almost 6 years. How would it look if I was there for 5 months and I asked for a raise? Would make me look like a selfish, impatient prick, wouldn't it? You know when I asked for a raise? I asked for a raise after 3 years. Shit will come over time. You need to develop a good reputation, pay your dues, and earn everything that you have. Mistreatment. I didn't see one single form of mistreatment on the part of Ivelisse. She's coming off entitled. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but to be quite honest, again, it's none of our business. We may never know, but I just wanted to get that out of there because I absolutely fucking hate when people come off entitled. I don't expect 1,000 people to show up in this live stream whenever I go live. I expect people to show up, but I'm not going to bitch and moan and complain that 1,000 people didn't show up. You accept what you get, and then you work to make the next time better. Patience is the fucking key. With anything in life, not just a job. Anything. Moving on, I got one little minor report before we get to the big report that everyone's been talking about for the last couple days. Cage Side Seats reported that Reginald missed WrestleMania because he was sick, although these specifics were not disclosed. Now, I don't think anyone is complaining that Reginald is not on television. I wish him a speedy recovery, but I don't think anyone is going to complain that fucking Reginald is not on television, especially considering he's involved in a shit program with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. So I'm just pointing that one out there. And finally, my final report, and then I will check the chat. 2 days ago, on April 15th, 1 year to the day of what people coined Black Wednesday, WWE had another set of releases from their company. The names released are as follows: Billie Kay, Mickie James, Peyton Royce, Wesley Blake, Chelsea Green, Kalisto, Mojo Rawley, Bo Dallas, Tucker, and Samoa Joe. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, and again, it does suck. It does. It sucks. I don't want to see anyone lose their job, and nobody deserves to lose their job. I understand that I may joke around and say that, oh, Billie Kay is AIDS, which she is. I understand I may say that, oh, is Mojo Rawley still employed, or Nia Jax sucks, and she deserves to be on the unemployment line, but truth be told, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. I don't. I don't want to see anyone lose their job, but at the end of the fucking day, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? This shit happens. This shit happens. And WWE, at the end of the day, it's a business. WWE is a business. WWE is not a family. WWE is a business, and they are going to make business decisions. And when the shareholders give Vince McMahon that conference call, Vince McMahon's going to have to show some sort of progress, whether or not he's making record-breaking profits or not. I understand they're in the middle of a pandemic, and I understand no one deserves to lose their job, but again, WWE is a business, and let's be honest here. Why would you want these individuals to be employed by the company when a good majority of them are not being used? WWE sees nothing in them. WWE either won't clear them to wrestle, kind of like Samoa Joe, WWE won't use them, or these individuals just flat out suck. Like, let me tell you something. The fact that WWE released Chelsea Green, Kalisto, Samoa Joe, and Mickie James, that just goes to show you that they don't know fucking talent. But at the end of the day, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Mickie James, she could have been a solid fucking hand in the women's division. I don't understand where the fuck she went after September. It's like after that Raw Women's title match with Asuka, she just faded a fucking way. She just faded away. Chelsea Green, I don't understand how you have Chelsea Green on your roster and you don't want to push her and you don't want to at least give her an opportunity. She was plucked from NXT way too fucking early. I don't understand why you even took her away from Robert Stone, because Robert Stone and Chelsea Green could have actually fucking been something. I don't understand why you took Chelsea Green away from NXT. Kalisto, man, he had all the potential in the world to be a solid mid-card act. He could have been a solid babyface in the mid-card. He could have been a solid Intercontinental Champion facing guys like Apollo Crews and Aleister Black and Murphy and Big E. He could have been fucking solid. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. He could have been fucking solid, man. Samoa Joe, don't even get me fucking started on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe should have been the guy to defeat AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. The fact that they did not push Samoa Joe to a world title reign when he was fucking healthy as shit is just absolutely fucking sinful. Sinful. Absolutely sinful. Bo Dallas, man, he was great in NXT. I'm not sure what happened there. And then, when they had the opportunity, they could have easily pushed him in the Funhouse with Bray Wyatt. Could have rejuvenated his career. Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas could have easily been a solid act on television. Could have actually made Raw a little bit more interesting. Because right now, nothing on fucking Monday Night Raw is interesting at all. Mojo Rawley, I don't understand why you even broke up the Hype Bros. The Hype Bros could have easily been SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Tucker, why the fuck did you break up Heavy Machinery? Tucker's been going fucking off on Twitter for the last couple days. If you've been watching, Tucker's been going off. He's like, well, why'd they break up Heavy Machinery? Oh, your guess is as good as mine. Who fucking knows? Wesley Blake, I feel sorry for Wesley Blake. The Forgotten Sons could have been something, but then Jackson Riker got the Forgotten Sons in a lump of shit. Even though I don't really blame him, but at the end of the day, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, they're a great fucking tag team. They could have been solid. The one superstar that I actually understand, and Kevin Dunn, we can shit on Kevin Dunn all we want, but Kevin Dunn actually was reported to have not gotten Billie Kay, and he released Billie Kay because he just didn't get her character, and he said that she didn't have a ceiling. She already had a very small ceiling on her, he's right. To be quite honest with you, Billie Kay should have been released years ago, to be quite honest. And here's why I say that. I'm not going to discredit Billie Kay as an individual. I'm not. Because there's been a lot of individuals that have come out over Twitter expressing their displeasure and expressing their sadness over Billie Kay's release. And here's what I will say to that. There's no doubt in my mind that she was a nice person. I don't think anyone ever questioned the individual that Billie Kay really was. I think her real name is Jess or something like that. No one questioned what type of person Billie Kay is. I'm 1,000% sure that she's a fucking angel. I'm 1,000% sure that she's a fucking angel. I'm 1,000% sure that she brightens people's days. And I'm 1,000% sure that she puts smiles on people's faces. And that's great. Matter of fact, I wish there was more people like that in this world. I really do. But that doesn't mean just because that she's a very nice individual, that doesn't mean that she has any value when the camera starts rolling. She doesn't. She fucking sucks. She's a sloppy, uncoordinated, piss-poor excuse for a pro wrestler. And the fact that she even passed pro wrestling school is beyond me. She is terrible in the ring. And don't even get me started on her character. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I don't give a shit. If you find enjoyment in Billie Kay in terms of her character, it just goes to show you that you have very low fucking standards and you have absolutely no fucking idea. You have absolutely no fucking idea what is good and what is bad. If you enjoy it, fine. But just because you enjoy it, that don't mean it's truthfully or factually good. The main difference between me and everybody else is that I speak objectively when everybody else is speaking subjectively. And that's something that everyone's going to have to get through their thick fucking skulls sooner rather than later. You don't like it? Suck my testicles. Billie Kay sucks. Billie Kay and the Iconics were two of the worst acts of the modern era on WWE television. Peyton Royce, I will give Peyton Royce a little bit of credit. Peyton Royce actually was trying to get better. But Billie Kay, I didn't see any fucking improvement whatsoever. And if you're telling me that you did, man, you must be a full-blown retard. I don't give a shit who you are. The fact of the matter is that Billie Kay offered absolutely no value on television, whether it be in a wrestler role or a managerial role. Billie Kay sucked. And if you don't understand that she truthfully and factually had zero value whatsoever, you might be as retarded as I say you are. Plain and simple. But this is not going to be a bad thing. This is not going to be a bad thing at all, because everyone was so up in arms about all the individuals that got fired on Black Wednesday last year, and look at what happened. They all found jobs and they're all happy. They're all in much better positions than they were, and now they all have the potential of succeeding. They all have the potential of being in much better positions as a whole. So at the end of the fucking day, is it really that big of a deal? I'm pretty sure that guys like Samoa Joe, Chelsea Green, Kalisto, and Mickie James, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be employed by AEW sooner rather than later. I'm pretty sure that Peyton Royce, she's going to train just fine. Mojo Rawley and Bo Dallas, Billie Kay, they'll probably go to Impact or some shit. But at the end of the fucking day, it's not a bad thing whatsoever. They're going to find jobs, they're going to be much better off, and everything's going to be fine. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to use these individuals, or these individuals are just jack shit like Billie Kay, let them go. Let them go. I just hope that this opens up the door for new individuals who have not gotten the opportunity yet, like Gulak, Ricochet, the Lucha House Party, Akira Tozawa. I hope it opens up the door for them. Will it? More likely than not, probably not. I doubt it will. But I hope that that does open up the door for him. Those are the news, rumors, and reports. We got 19 likes. 19 likes. I like it, but I think we can get more. We got 19 likes, but I think that we can get more. I want to get more than just 19 likes, so I'm going to need y'all to continue to share the stream out because we got 5 weekly shows to review. We got Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, NXT UK, and Smackdown to go over. So you guys are going to want to stick around because I got a lot of shit to say. We're going to shit all over Monday Night Raw. Let's check the chat. Everyone seems to be in agreement with me, rightfully so. Cool King, Earl Cole, Danielle, Robbo Universe. Thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate you hitting that like button. Matt Moody, thank you very much for coming by. I greatly appreciate you. Chat is alive and well. We got 20 likes. I like to see it. I love to see it. The goal's 30, but I think we can get to 40 as well. But in order for us to get to 40, I'm going to need you guys to continue to share the stream out. Share it out to your group chats. Share it out to anyone who might want to know that DJ Storms is live. Thank you very much, Mr. Adam Carl, for stating the obvious. The fact that Billy Kay was on WrestleMania over Keith Lee, Jeff Hardy, Aleister Black, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin is an absolute sin amongst humanity. Thank you very much for stating that. It needed to be stated. Let's share it out to a few more people because I know that we're going to want to get a few more people in this stream. We got over here. We got 20 likes so far. Good shit right there. Good shit right there. So, we are going to get into the Raw portion of the review. A lot of good rants right there. Of course, Danielle's keeping Dab Mania alive in the chat. I greatly appreciate you sticking around. But we're going to keep Rantapalooza alive because, my oh my, Raw. What a shit show. What a shit show. What a shit show. My God. They're back in the Thunderdome. Why? Oh yeah, that's right, because Vince McMahon, he can control everything that he couldn't control before the Thunderdome, so you want to stay in the Thunderdome, even though you can easily have fans back in attendance, but you don't want fans back in attendance because then they'll boo and cheer whoever they want, not who you want. Is that correct, Vince? Is that correct? John Laurinaitis, I'm doing it in the good name of people power. Is that right? Matt Riddle and Bobby Lashley had a backstage segment in which Bobby Lashley, he dropped Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle's challenge to Bobby Lashley was accepted for a match. The show actually kicked off with Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle. So, Lashley attacked Matt Riddle as he was scooting down the ramp on his scooter. Lashley was just tossing Riddle around. He military pressed him over the barricade. So coming back from commercial, Riddle was just being thrown around like a fucking rag doll. Riddle literally got 2 moves in on Bobby Lashley. He had a final flash, and then he missed the floating bro. Lashley rolled over into the Hurt Lock, and Riddle tapped out immediately. I don't understand why Bobby Lashley couldn't have just came out and celebrated his win. I don't understand why we needed this match at all. I don't understand why we needed a reminder that, yes, we would like to remind you that Riddle is Bobby Lashley's bitch. Why? Shouldn't Riddle be built back up to get a rematch against Sheamus for the U.S. title? Shouldn't we get Riddle and Sheamus for the United States Championship one more time? And then we can move on to Matt Riddle being built up for a potential WWE title match? That's the whole reason why you took the title off of Matt Riddle, isn't that correct? Or did you just take the title off of Matt Riddle because, again, you had no plans? I'm going with the latter. And now, considering that you kept the title on Bobby Lashley and you put Drew McIntyre in there with Lashley again, it looks like you just want to go on a vacation until 3 weeks before SummerSlam and you're just going to fucking wing it. You're just going to phone it in. You're just going to phone it in for the next 4 months. So what do? You book WrestleMania Backlash where 90% of the fucking matches are going to be WrestleMania rematches. That's a great job. Such riveting television. Matt Riddle buried again. No reason for this match to happen. No reason why we needed another fucking reminder that Matt Riddle is Bobby Lashley's bitch. Why couldn't we have just had Bobby Lashley celebrate his win, and then Matt Riddle could have been built up to face Lashley for a later date for the WWE Championship? Does nobody think? Cedric and Shelton Benjamin versus the Viking Raiders. Yes, Eric and Ivar. They are back. It's nice to see Ivar back. It's went about 5 minutes. Shelton tried to wear down Eric. Cedric tagged in. They kept the aggression on. Ivar got the hot tag. Ivar, he looked good. Nice big crossbody. He had a cartwheel and a double clothesline. We had the assisted hip attack to Cedric and a Viking experience to Cedric for the 1-2-3. Viking Raiders, they win their return match. Let me tell you something. The Raw Tag Team Division's fucking dead, but if I was booking this, I'd get those Raw Tag Team titles on the Viking Raiders ASAP. I would get AJ Styles away from Omos, get him away from Omos, and then start rebuilding this fucking tag team division. You could actually build a solid fucking tag team division on Monday Night Raw. Just think about this. You got Cedric and Shelton. You got the Viking Raiders. You got the New Day, the Lucha House Party. You could have Elias and Jackson Riker in there. I realize that it may not be all that exciting, but you could actually find them in a decent role, and they could be in a position to help others get over. Utilize the fucking talent that you at least got. And then if you want to, you could have Humberto turn heel, and then you can pair him with his real-life cousin, Angel Garza, and you could have them as a tag team. Latino connection right there. Build a fucking division. At least try. At least fucking try. But if I'm booking this, I'm getting the titles on the Viking Raiders ASAP. I'm getting the titles on the Viking Raiders ASAP because Styles and Omos, no fucking way can you convince me that they are worth even 2 seconds of our time as tag team champions. We don't need Styles with the black version of the Great Khali. We don't. We still don't even have an explanation as to why Styles even enlisted the services of Omos. Charlotte Flair. Been a few weeks. Hey, it's been a few weeks. Let me, hang on a minute. Been a few weeks. Been a few weeks. Let me see if I still got it. Do I still got it? We live by a code here on the channel, and the code is fuck Charlotte Flair. Fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. If everyone can type fuck Charlotte Flair in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Charlotte Flair came out. She said that she wasn't even on WrestleMania. Yes, and it was much better without you. She said what she does is sacred. What you do is sacred? Really? What you do is sacred? Really? What you do fucking ruins the show. You haven't had one good fucking match since you came back. She said, you think it's my fault Lacey Evans decided to get pregnant? No one ever blamed you, bitch. She said that opportunist Rhea Ripley challenged Asuka. Out with the old, in with the new. Asuka even manipulated her way into a rematch. Karma is a bitch, and I am that bitch. No one compares to me. Oh, no. No one compares to you. You're right. No one compares to you because the majority of people are above you. You are not one of the best wrestlers on the face of the planet nowadays. Matter of fact, the people that think that are blatantly fucking retarded. Retardation is strong, people. Retardation is strong. Protect yourself from it. She says, I'm that damn good. No more humble Charlotte Flair. Were you ever humble, Charlotte Flair? Were you ever humble? No. You were one of the most vocal cunts in the entire company. You got WWE management in your back fucking pocket, and you know it! How is it that anyone can even buy into a single fucking word that this bitch is saying? This is a legitimate fucking shit. You know what? This is not even a promo. This wasn't even a promo. This was the furthest thing from a promo. This was Ashley Flair talking to you directly. This was Ashley Flair speaking to you face to face. This is who Charlotte is. This is who Ashley Flair is. Charlotte is everything that Sasha Banks is falsely accused of being. Charlotte is selfish. Charlotte's a fucking baby. Charlotte is a fucking egotistical, manipulative cunt in every sense of the fucking word. Sasha is nothing that Charlotte Flair is. Sasha is everything that Charlotte Flair is not. Sasha is the generous individual. Charlotte is not. Sasha actually has passion. Sasha actually cares for the division. She cares for the betterment of everyone around her, and she cares about building the future. She's not fucking selfish. How anyone can even buy into a single fucking word that Charlotte Flair is even saying right here just goes to show you how fucking stupid the majority of people, just goes to show you how fucking stupid the general public really are. Again, I speak objectively, you speak subjectively. Learn the fucking difference and deal with it. She says, enjoy your title match that I should have been in. We got Rhea Ripley versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. I don't know what fucking happened here, but this match was fucking sloppy. This match was not crisp. I don't know what happened here, but this was not good at all. The WrestleMania match was decent. The WrestleMania match was a lot better. Asuka and Ripley actually did a good job in the WrestleMania match. I'm not sure what the fuck happened here. Rhea was in control early. Asuka was being worn down. Asuka tried to mount the comeback. Asuka came up short on the drop kick. Did not look good. Rhea locked in a reverse cloverleaf. Asuka fought out of it. Both women went for big moves. They kept botching. Very sloppy. Did not look good at all. Asuka and Rhea were then out on the apron. Asuka with a DDT to Ripley on the apron. Charlotte then came out and attacked both women, giving Rhea Ripley a big boot before she stood tall. Various sloppy moments. And based on everything that's going on here, looks like we are getting a triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash. And let me tell you something. Rhea Ripley ain't going to make it past June with that title. If Charlotte doesn't win the title at Backlash, then I can absolutely see Rhea Ripley pinning Asuka at Backlash. And we get Rhea and Charlotte at the June pay-per-view, which is Money in the Bank, I believe. And then after that, Rhea Ripley's title reign is done, unfortunately. Have a safe evening, Earl. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, they attacked Nia Jax in the back after her and Shayna laughed at Mandy's fall at WrestleMania. So we get Mandy and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler later on in the night. We got Alexa's Playground. She tells a story about a little girl who was lost until she was rescued by the darkness. The darkness protected her and nurtured her. But then the darkness went away. It was then that the little girl realized that she didn't need the darkness after all. Was the darkness helping her or standing in her way? She says, is the female species the deadliest? Along the way, I unlocked something truly evil. Meet my new friend, Lily. So she showed a little plush doll sitting on the swing, and she said, "Our fun is just getting started." I don't know what this is leading to, but Jesus, I legitimately don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't understand why anyone would give a shit. Makes absolutely no fucking sense. Alexa's Playground, who cares? I don't give a shit how well Alexa Bliss plays this character. The fact that they are shafting Bray Wyatt and just giving it all to Alexa Bliss, it's just a fucking spit in the face to Bray Wyatt. It really is. It's an absolute spit in the face to Bray Wyatt. And I don't know where this is going, but this shit just makes no sense. Is this resulting in Alexa Bliss getting her own Fiend character? And now Alexa Bliss is going to be back competing in the ring? I hope not. Because Alexa Bliss fucking sucks in the ring. She fucking blows. Not as bad as Billie Kay, but she sucks. Alexa Bliss needs to be in this role. But at this rate, I don't even give a shit. At this rate, I don't even give a shit. Because Alexa Bliss has pretty much outshined Bray Wyatt. And now Bray Wyatt's pretty much dead. What's going to happen with Bliss? I don't know. Miz TV. Miz TV with Maryse. Maryse says that she's here because after Raw, it's the premiere of Miz and Mrs. Miz hyped up how he made Bad Bunny into a superstar. Yeah, sure, Miz. Damian Priest interrupted. He said Bad Bunny put in the work. Let me remind you of the headlines. Bad Bunny beats Miz. Priest says, "You're going to challenge me to a handicap match? We'll make a new headline. Priest beats Miz and Morrison." Which I don't understand why they even booked this match. They made Damian Priest look like a fucking dumbass right here. I don't know why the fuck they booked this match. And this match was fucking terrible. They didn't even get a chance. They didn't even have Miz and Morrison change into their suits. Change out of their suits, rather. They didn't even have Miz and Morrison change into their ring gear. They just openly threw Miz and Morrison out there. And they're like, yeah, we'll have them wrestle in suits. So they're wrestling in suit pants. Morrison was taken out. The Miz, Damian Priest, he ripped the Miz's pants off. He ripped the Miz's pants off. The Miz was pantsed. He was in there in dress shoes and black underwear. He was in there in his fucking underpants. And Maryse distracted Priest. The Miz rolled up Priest with his feet on the ropes for the win. And you had Damian Priest lose to The Miz with Maryse holding his feet on the ropes when Miz was in his fucking underpants. Let me repeat that. The Miz beat Damian Priest while he was in dress shoes and underpants. But you're going to tell me that Damian Priest has a bright future on Monday Night Raw after he was pinned by someone in his fucking underpants? And you know what this does? You know what this proves right here? This goes to show you that WWE was merely pushing Damian Priest because Bad Bunny was there. It doesn't matter who would have been in that role. Anyone who would have been in that role. It didn't necessarily have to be Damian Priest. Anyone would have been in that role. Anyone would have been in that role and they would have received the same treatment. Damian Priest just so happened to be in that role. But immediately now that Bad Bunny left and Bad Bunny is doing his own thing and Bad Bunny's doing his own tours and doing his own music gig, now they don't give a shit. Now they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They see nobody as special. Why is it that Damian Priest even needed to be on the show? Why is this storyline still continuing? It's over. It's been going on for 2.5 fucking months. Why does it need to continue after WrestleMania? Why? Why does it need to continue? It's over. It's done. Why did this segment need to be on the show? You really couldn't have just had Miz and Morrison. Why aren't Miz and Morrison in the tag team division? Why not push them in the tag team division? Get rid of this silly ass, hey, hey, ho, ho, hop, hop, hoo, hoo, ha, ha, hee, hee, and push them as serious, legitimate tag team competitors. Have them in competitive tag team matches. But no, you want to have them dressed up in bunny outfits. Hey, hey, ho, ho, this is for the world to see, for the world to know. Hop, hop, hee, 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 ha, ha. That's what you got to do, right? That's what you got to do with fucking Miz and Morrison. Instead of making them bad comedy acts, put them in the tag team division. Build your fucking tag team division, because it's dead. When you got fucking AJ Styles and the Black Great Khali as tag team champions, I don't know how you can get any more worse. But no, hey, hey, ho, ho, hop, hop, hee, 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 ha, ha. Oh, God. I can't do it anymore, man. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Oh, Lord. Fucking, I'm running out of fucking water here. And I still got 4 more shows to review. Miz and Morrison. They beat Damian Priest. So Damian Priest and his momentum that he's built over the course of the last few months lost. Damian Priest should be being built up to face off against Sheamus for the U.S. title. Matter of fact, why couldn't you have Damian Priest take the week off, and then you could have built towards a match between him and Drew McIntyre? And I'll talk about Drew McIntyre in a little bit. But this was fucking terrible. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Rose got the hot tag. She lit up Baszler. Nia slipped twice throughout this match. Nia got angry, and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke then openly accepted a count out, and that was it. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose lose via count out. They don't give a shit about the title, so I don't understand why anyone would. And their music hit, but they lost, but their music hit. Their music hit, but they lost. So explain to me, how am I supposed to take them seriously when they openly accepted a count out, and on top of that, they lost the match, but their music played? Man, Kevin Dunn, he just doesn't fucking care. So MVP was in the ring. He praised Drew, but he said he took his eye off the prize for 1 second, and we watched Drew pass out. He says no one can handle the pressure of the Hurt Lock. Before Drew interrupted, he said WrestleMania was going to come down to Claymore, Hurt Lock, and who makes the first mistake. He said, I have no excuses, but I want you to stay on this path, milk that cash cow, because eventually I'm going to get my rematch, and when I hit that Claymore, I want him to fall as hard as possible. So MVP said, nothing is given, everything is earned. Then all of a sudden, the stupid Express, run. Strowman, he came out and he says, Drew, you take your ass to the back of the line as the monster among men steps in front of it. I can't even believe what I'm saying this, but I actually agree with you, Mr. Strowman. I don't understand why Braun Strowman wasn't the guy to face Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. And I'm going to explain why in a little bit. Orton then came out. He said, Fiend and Alexa Bliss are finished. Now I can focus at what I'm the best at, being the Legend Killer, being the Viper, and being WWE Champion. Adam Pearson came out and he made a triple threat match where the winner would face Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. Oh, really? How original. New Day versus Elias and Jackson Riker. I'm not even going to lie. I think Elias and Jackson Riker, they have potential as a tag team. They're not going to win the titles, but they could at least be used to enhance some other individuals. So Elias, he tried to perform his song, but every time he strummed his guitar, Xavier Woods blew Francesca the trombone. So the New Day came out. Kofi said that they got their asses whipped all over WrestleMania by Braun Strowman. Elias then mocked Kofi for being manhandled by Omos. Xavier Woods screamed, unacceptable condition. Unacceptable. Nice little shout out to Adventure Time there. So I'll give Xavier Woods a little credit there. So we get this tag team match. Woods and Kofi win with Daybreak. That's pretty much that. Best thing about this was the Adventure Time shout out. Firefly Funhouse returned. We had all the usual puppets. He says it feels so good to be back in the Funhouse. Abby the Witch called Alexa Bliss a bitch. Wyatt said that we still have each other. And we could start. What is it? It could be a new start. I feel reborn. He says he shall return. And there'll be no more clout chasing. Funhouse will be strong. And that was it. It's like he was preaching. He was a southern preacher. That was pretty much that. That was it. I didn't really give a shit. I don't think anyone gives a shit. I don't understand why anyone would give a shit. And then we got the triple threat match. Braun Strowman. Ron. Stupid Express. Thank you for coming in to say hi, Miss Midnight Rose. Please hit that like button. Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Winner faces Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. So, let me get this straight. You booked this match. And Randy Orton RKO Strowman. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore while Orton was pinning Strowman. And then Drew pins Orton for the win. So that's the first thing. Why is Drew McIntyre even involved in this match? Why? Why did we even need to get a number one contenders match? Why is it that we didn't just get Orton versus Braun Strowman? That's what I want to know. I love Drew McIntyre. Don't get me wrong, but he lost. He passed out. Drew McIntyre should be nowhere near the WWE Championship again. Not for a long, long time. I am not a Braun Strowman advocate. Everybody knows how much I fucking hate Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's a shitty wrestler. Braun Strowman is a dead act. But at the end of the fucking day, if Bobby Lashley's not losing the WWE Championship, you could easily have put Braun Strowman in there with Bobby Lashley, because at least Braun Strowman would have made sense because he's been on a winning streak. Wow! Logic right there. Someone on a winning streak getting a title match. He beat Elias and Jackson Riker leading up into Mania. He beat Shane McMahon. He's on a 4-5 match winning streak. What sense does it even make to have Braun Strowman in this match if you're not going to reward him for a winning streak? Put him in there against Lashley. I don't want to see that match, but at least it makes fucking sense. How does Drew McIntyre make sense? And then after this, MVP comes out to the ramp, and then all of a sudden, T-Bar and Mace, T-Balls and Disgrace, formerly from Retribution, they come out and hit a double choke slam to McIntyre. They watch as McIntyre stands up, and MVP looks on. So let me get this straight. Am I to believe now that T-Bar and Mace, T-Balls and Disgrace, am I to believe now that they're somehow cool with MVP? Meanwhile, 6-7 months ago, weren't they feuding with the Hurt Business? I don't get it. Who comes up with this? Who writes this? Who develops this? Who okays this? How does this make any sense? How do people now look at this? How does Vince and Bruce now look at this and say, this doesn't fucking make sense? Or they just don't fucking care? How do they not see that this is fucking stupid? Doesn't mean that T-Balls in Disgrace, they get unmasked, okay, fine. But still, does it make sense? No! They were feuding with the fucking Hurt Business 6-7 months ago. All of a sudden now MVP has enlisted their services. All of a sudden 6-7 months ago didn't even happen. Are we going to get an explanation? I doubt it. So T-Ball's in disgrace. Where the fuck is Slapjack? Where's Slapnuts? Where's Slapballs? Where's Jackballs? Where's Reckoning? Where's Recoiling? This show sucked. This show sucked. Make absolutely no sense. Stupid booking, illogical shit all around. Gadget Gaming is here. I just finished up the Raw review. You missed a lot of rants. Deborah, you missed a lot of rants, let me tell you. You missed a lot of rants. Oy, oy, oy. You missed my Miz and Morrison impersonation. By the way, Miz and Morrison suck. They absolutely suck. But Gadget Gaming, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hitting that like button. Please, if you can, share the stream out. I hope you're doing well. I hope work is doing well. Thank you very much for everyone who stopped by. We just finished up the Raw review. We're going to get into NXT next. We're going to get into NXT on Tuesdays next. Oh, you caught the end. Oh, yeah, you caught the end. Yeah. I was ranting on T-Balls and Disgrace, T-Bar and Mace. And yes, Midnight Rose, The Miz is terrible. Morrison is terrible. They're not funny. They are not entertaining. They are trash. I'm sorry. Whoa, you got a broken foot. How did that happen? I actually would like to hear this. How'd you get a broken foot? You will never be able to make me take it back, Jess. You will never be able to make me take it back. Miz and Morrison are terrible. Hey, hey, hop, hop. Miz and Morrison need to be dropped. Hey, 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 ho, ho. Miz and Morrison, no, no. What you gonna do? Jofo! Jofo in the ring, my man. Jofo in the ring. How you doing, Jofo? You missed my Miz and Morrison rant. I believe that made Danielle laugh. But we are going to get into the NXT review in just a little bit. Hey, I may be a turd, but I'm correct in everything that I say. The facts are the facts, Jess. Miz and Morrison are terrible. Hey, hey, no, no. Miz and Morrison gotta go, go. Surprised they weren't released. Anyway. It's highly injured. You kicked the... See, why would you kick your car? Yeah, Deborah, why would you kick your car? I don't understand. Who kicks their car? Nobody kicks their car. You don't do that. Oh, God. But anyway, we're going to talk about NXT. I think we should get into the NXT review. NXT, this is their debut on Tuesdays, and I did watch it live. We had Karrion Kross and Scarlett kicking off the show. Now, the show overall, it was solid. It was okay. But obviously, it's not just going to get back to normal. It's not just going to get back to normal after one show. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see how they establish themselves on Tuesdays. Wasn't a bad show. Wasn't a bad show. We did get some decent wrestling. We did get some decent material here on NXT. Karrion Kross and Scarlett kicked off the show. Kross says, time always comes full circle. As far as Mr. Balor goes, one of the greatest of all time, he says, everything can become a driving force, and I can control everything. I am in command of NXT until I say so. When you're at the top, only way to go is down. I can assure you that is a complete and total lie. Nobody will outwork me. I'm starving. You want this? Step right up, roll the dice, and I promise you will roll right off. I will roll you right off your head. In the end, everyone pays the toll. This was a great promo from Karrion Kross. He has legitimacy. He has believability. I'm liking what Karrion Kross is doing. And I would absolutely love to see who they have lined up for him. I'm not sure who they have lined up for him as we speak, but I definitely would like to see Kyle O'Reilly getting up in there with Karrion Kross. Maybe we do get a rematch with Finn Balor down the line, maybe in the next month or two. Let's see where Karrion Kross goes now that he is the NXT champion. So, MSK came out, and we got MSK versus Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. This was for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Maverick and Dane, they got the opportunity to fight for the tag team titles on the TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 2 pre-show. And this was a very good match for what it was. Dane and Maverick actually worked very well here with MSK. These two actually put on a very good match for the time that it went. Maverick with a modified Whisper in the Wind. Maverick, he's actually doing very, very well. I wasn't really too big of a Drake Maverick guy, but Maverick is actually doing very well. He's not doing too bad. So, Dane got the tag, and he hit a big crossbody on Lee on the floor. Coming back from commercial, we had Nash Carter getting the hot tag. He lit up Drake Maverick. We had a nice snap German suplex and an assisted moonsault for a 2. Dane got in. They tried to wear down Dane. Lee with a spiral tap off the top for a 2. Dane then slammed Lee onto Carter with a Meishinuku driver. We then had Lee saving the match. Maverick hit a swinging DDT on Lee, spiked him right on the top of his head. Dane then accidentally powerbombed his own partner. He was going to powerbomb Maverick onto Nash Carter, I believe it was, but Wesley saved it. Lee then took out Dane. MSK with the blockbuster heart attack combination. Carter then took out Dane with a suicide dive, and Lee pinned Maverick to retain the titles in a very good match. Afterwards, Imperium, Marcel Bartel, Fabian Eichner, and Alexander Wolf, they came out, they attacked Killian Dane, and they laid out Dane while Maverick was still out from the blockbuster heart attack combination. So, first successful title defense for MSK. And it looks like Imperium could be built up to be MSK's next challengers, which I have no issue with whatsoever. I think that is going to be an excellent match. And if they want to, that could be one of the best matches of the year for NXT if they allow them to go out there and do what they do. That's going to be a great match. I have no problem seeing Imperium versus MSK. So they replayed highlights from Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, the unsanctioned match. Kyle O'Reilly actually collapsed backstage, and he and Cole were both loaded into the ambulance and taken to the hospital simultaneously at the same time. Cole kept trash-talking Kyle O'Reilly as they were being taken into the hospital. I thought this was fantastic. I thought this was fucking hilarious. And looks like this is not over. So this is not over. Should be interesting to see where they go. We got Mercedes Martinez versus Jessie Kamea. So Kamea kept the aggression on early. Kamea with a nice springboard elbow. This momentum was shut down pretty quickly with Martinez hitting a running knee and then a big air raid crash for the win. Then she went over to Robert Stone. He gave her the money that he owed her. And then she screamed at Vic Joseph into the microphone, Raquel Gonzalez, congratulations, champ, but here's a warning. I'm coming for you. Now, that should be pretty interesting. That should be pretty interesting, and I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with Raquel Gonzalez versus Mercedes Martinez. And that's actually a very interesting first feud for Raquel Gonzalez. I can't wait to see what they do there. Santos Escobar. He came out with Legado del Fantasma, and he was going to issue an open challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. So, he says, 1 year ago, this was the title of a forgotten division. No more. The Emperor of Lucha Libre stole the show. We are warriors. We never back down. Tonight, I lay out an open challenge. And all of a sudden, Kushida comes out. And I actually called Kushida. There was a little back and forth before the match got into play. I called Kushida. So it looks like they must have been listening to me. So Kushida was in control. Escobar took over during the commercial. He slung Kushida into the steps. Back into the ring, we had a Hurricane Rana for a 2. Escobar really kept the aggression on Kushida. He came back with a cartwheel drop kick, though. We had a big PK to the arm. Kushida then with a butterfly suplex off the top. He rolled through into a necklock suplex, but Escobar got his foot on the rope, so the count was broken. Then we had Escobar hitting a big enziguri. Kushida hit a Pele kick. We had a handspring by Kushida, but Escobar countered with a beautiful fucking backstabber. Looked great. So they traded jackknife covers. Kushida rolled up Escobar, deep cover, and Kushida got the win in a great fucking match. Probably the best match of the night. Great match. Best match of the night. And Kushida wins the Cruiserweight title. I was actually quite shocked by the outcome here, and I was actually quite shocked that they gave Kushida the title this early. I actually thought that they were actually going to build up Kushida a bit more, and they were actually going to give Kushida a long-winded story up to winning the Cruiserweight Championship. But my guess is they wanted to start off NXT with this big title change and say, hey, we're NXT, we're on Tuesdays now. This is what you're missing on NXT on Tuesdays if you're not watching NXT. So that's probably why they decided to go forth with this, which I don't mind. I don't necessarily mind that. I think that it's a decent way to get people to watch, but at the same point in time, Kushida, he deserves a lot more than just a shock title win. I would like to hope that now Kushida is going to finally get his just due, but you see, I'm not surprised that Kushida won the Cruiserweight title. I'm surprised that they did it in this fashion. Because if you think about it, with everything that Kushida's been doing over the course of the last 7 months, the fact that he went on a winning streak, his match with Velveteen Dream, his match with Gargano, his match with Pete Dunne, and he's been losing and losing and losing. There needed to be a payoff for Kushida. But I don't like the fact that they just did it out of the blue. I understand why they did it. I understand that he needed a payoff and they wanted to give NXT on Tuesdays that unpredictable vibe. But at the same point in time, you should have built them up a little bit more. But I'm very, very happy for Kushida nevertheless. This was a great match. And Kushida's the new Cruiserweight champion. I can't wait to see what they have planned for Kushida. Definitely wouldn't mind another match with Escobar. Definitely wouldn't mind a match with Jordan Devlin. Definitely would like seeing a match between Kushida and Finn Balor for the Cruiserweight title. That should be interesting. We got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez out in the ring. They relished in the glory of Raquel Gonzalez's title win. She talked about her big debut where she was supposed to take place a year and a half ago. She said, I busted my ass and I trained harder and now I stand here, your new NXT Women's Champion. She thanked Dakota Kai. Kai said, we dominated the best women's division in the world. Raquel said, Io was a great champion, but now the Raquel Gonzalez era has officially begun. All of a sudden, the lights went out. Lights came back on, and Frankie Monet, a.k.a. Taya Valkyrie, came out. She took the mic. She said, congratulations, champ. I'd like to formally introduce myself. I am La Güera Loca. I am Frankie Monet, and you'll be seeing a whole lot more of me. Raquel says, I'm in a good mood, but if you ever interrupt me again, this cute little poochie, I'm going to shove him straight up your ass. So that was very nice by Raquel right there. Frankie said, I'm going to be seeing you every single Tuesday, champ. Now, the name's not an issue. The name's not an issue, but Jesus, the gimmick's just not doing it. I'm probably going to have to take some time getting used to it, but the gimmick as a whole, it just feels like another Tori Wilson gimmick. You know Tori Wilson, where she had that gimmick with her dog. She came out every week with her dog. That's exactly what this Taya Valkyrie gimmick feels like. It just does not feel good. It doesn't feel legitimate. It doesn't feel like a gimmick in which we can actually invest in. I don't know why, but I'd like to hope that Taya Valkyrie, she's not going to be this prim, proper fucking princess. I want to see Taya Valkyrie getting down and fucking dirty. That's the Taya Valkyrie we all know and love. You know what I mean. So after that, she left. All of a sudden, Rhea Ripley came out. She stood face-to-face with Raquel, and they clanked titles. They hugged, and then Bianca Belair followed suit. She joined the party, and they all embraced, and they all relished in their victories at WrestleMania. This was a very, very nice moment, a very organic moment. I really had no issue with this, but it's very hard for me to believe that NXT is the blueprint for creating new stars, when we all know that's not true, because Vince McMahon has buried 98% of the NXT call-ups that we've seen. It's whether Vince McMahon likes you or not. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair are lucky. Next week, we got the debut of Sarai. Should be interesting. Roderick Strong was in the back with his wife, Marina Shafir, and he handed a folder to William Regal, and he said, "I'm done." Regal then called him the ultimate professional and said he was welcome back in NXT at any time. Very, very interesting nonetheless. Very interesting. I don't know where this leads to, but I'm actually very, very, very much looking forward to seeing what happens. I think this is definitely an angle. I do not see Roderick Strong getting called up. I think this is absolutely an angle, and I think this could result in Roderick Strong coming back at a later date. Maybe Roderick Strong wants to leave a little bit and handle some family business. Maybe he wants to have another kid. I don't know. Maybe he has duties as a father. We'll see what happens. But I would actually have Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. I'd keep them as a tag team. I'd keep Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish as a tag team. And I would keep them together as a tag team. And I would have them continue on in the tag team division and see what they can do as a tag team. We then had Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. And I'm going to be quite honest. I wasn't really expecting anything from this match. But this turned out to be a very good match. Danielle says she has to go. If you have to go, no problem. You take care of whatever business you need to take care of. Thank you very much for stopping by. I greatly appreciate you. You are fantastic, Danielle. I hope all is well. God bless, all right? Now, Isaiah Swerve Scott and Leon Ruff. I was not expecting anything from these two, but these two actually ended up having a very good match. I'm not going to lie. This was actually a very good match for the 10 minutes that it was. So Ruff targeted the shoulder of Isaiah Swerve Scott. Scott then came back with a diving elbow to the back of Ruff. Ruff got caught by Scott. We had a big punt kick to the head. Scott kept the aggression on Leon Ruff coming back from commercial break. Ruff mounted a comeback. Ruff went for the diving cutter, but Scott caught him in an armbar midair, which looked great. Ruff fought out of it. He hit a cutter and then hit an escalera senton to the floor. Ruff hit a big missile dropkick for a 2. Ruff with a huge Frankensteiner off the top to Scott. He was just able to crawl to the cover, and Scott kicked out. Ruff then he was caught with a Death Valley driver, or he reversed the Death Valley driver, excuse me. He reversed the Death Valley driver, sending Scott into the buckle. We had a big roll-up, this close for a 2. Big roll-up. Ruff then went on the top turnbuckle, and Scott dropped him face first on the top turnbuckle. Scott then hit the JML driver for the win, and Isaiah Swerve Scott gets the win over Leon Ruff in a very good match for what it was. I would love to see Isaiah Swerve Scott in the North American Championship title picture sooner rather than later. Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon versus The Way. This wasn't bad, but this was just very standard, very chaotic, all over the place, very disorganized. We did have some scenarios where the men and the ladies, they actually got involved with each other. They were fighting each other, but the whole thing is just It's just too chaotic. And on top of that, why is Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis getting involved in this love angle? I don't understand. And I'm going to explain why. So, first things first, Theory and Gargano tried to wear down Dexter Lumis. Bronson Reed got the hot tag. He lit up Gargano and Theory. Reed got both Theory and Gargano up on his shoulders with a double Samoan drop. We had what was it? We had LeRae jumping on Bronson Reed. LeRae jumped on Bronson Reed, tried for a crossbody, like that was going to work. Theory took out Reed. Lumis then took out Theory. Candice LeRae with a suicide dive DDT onto Lumis. Reed with a military press to Shotzi Blackheart onto the pile. Lumis then locked in the silence on Gargano. Lumis then saw Indy laying down in the ring. Lumis showed compassion before Indy threw Austin Theory out of the ring. Lumis then took Indy and carried her to the back, so it was a 3-on-3 tag team match. Ember hit an Eclipse off of Reed to Theory, which looked great. Theory was down. Gargano was then dropped onto Theory. Candice was then dropped onto Theory. Reed then with a beautiful tsunami splash onto Austin Theory, flattened him like a pancake, and Reed picked up the win. Reed, I'm glad that Reed got the win. Right man was pinned, but I don't fucking understand why is this way Dexter Lumis storyline, why is this resulting in a love angle between Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis? That's what you've been doing? This shit is dragged. I'm sorry. This shit is dragged since the start of the year. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you think this is going to accomplish, but this entire storyline with the Way and Dexter Lumis has been going on since the beginning of the year. It's fucking dragged. And if it's really going to result in a love angle between Lumis and Indy Hartwell and not Dexter Lumis taking the title off of Johnny Gargano, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I honest to God don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's fucking terrible. But NXT overall was a solid show. Not the best. We'll see what happens going forward. Welcome back, Danielle. We only have 3 people in here. I don't know why. We only have about 3 people in here. You see, that is an issue. I think that we should have some more people in here. So I need y'all to share it out to as many platforms as possible. I don't know why. Let's see what we got over here. Let's see who's sharing what out. Danielle, did you share it out? Just making sure because we got 3 more shows to go over. So, that was your NXT review. We are going to get into the AEW Dynamite review. So, Dynamite, we had MJF in the back trying to bribe Mike Tyson. So, Tyson was being interviewed. MJF approached him. MJF was trying to persuade Mike Tyson to be on the right side of history. Which, again, he didn't say that he wanted him to cheat, but realistically speaking, he was like, kind of be a little bit buddy-buddy. Kind of be a little bit more buddy-buddy with me. So, he tried to bribe Mike Tyson with a blank check. Mike Tyson ripped up the check, put it in his mouth, chewed it, and spit it back at him. Now, I thought this was fucking hilarious. And I thought this was a very nice setup for what could potentially come. We started off the show with Pac and Rey Fenix versus the Young Bucks. This was for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was an absolutely chaotic fucking match. This was an excellent fucking match. This nearly went 30 minutes, and these 2 teams tore the fucking house down. These 2 teams brought everything they had to the table, and these 2 teams absolutely beat the shit out of each other Great fucking match here between Pac, Rey Fenix, and the Young Bucks. Definitely one of the best tag team matches in AEW since the start of the year. So Death Triangle was in control early. Swift kicks to Matt Jackson. The Bucks regained control. Nick with a face buster to Fenix. Fenix was then isolated. He got the hot tag to Pac. He lit up Matt Jackson with a big brain buster for a 2. The Bucks came back with some double team moves to Pac. They double powerbombed Fenix and Pac on the apron. Pac was then isolated. Matt Jackson mocked a hot tag after Fenix was yanked off the apron, so that was very, very nice, mocking their old babyface selves. We had Fenix making the hot tag. Fenix absolutely lit up Nick Jackson. We had a beautiful fucking arm drag Hurricane Rana off the top. Double thrust kick. We had a Blue Thunder Bomb, but Nick just kicked out. We had Fenix with a tope to Nick. Big German suplex to Matt for a very close 2. We had a monster flip, or a monster flip, monkey flip, Canadian Destroyer to Nick on Fenix. Spiked him on the fucking top of his head. Everyone was down. We had double reverse Ranas on the floor to the opposing team members. Fenix then with a cutter on the outside. Back in the ring, Pac with a superplex. Fenix with the frog splash for a 2. Black Arrow connected, but Nick pushed Fenix onto Pac to break the count. We had a low blow by Nick behind the ref's back. Fenix then tagged in. Nick ripped off the mask. We had a double super kick, and the Young Bucks retained the titles. Excellent fucking match. I did not expect the Young Bucks to lose the titles here. I actually expected the Young Bucks to retain because I do believe that there's a bigger plan in the near future, and I do believe that Jurassic Express is going to be the team to beat the Young Bucks for the titles, and the Young Bucks are going to put over a big team like Jurassic Express. That's going to be big. Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill. This went about 8 minutes, and this was a feud that they were building since the initial mixed tag team match between Cody Shaq, Jade Cargill, and Red Velvet. And this was actually a damn good match. This was actually a damn good match for the 8 minutes that it was. And these two women, they really did bring it. This was no bullshit, all action, straightforward. We had the fight starting immediately before Cargill had a very nice V-trigger. Cargill actually has a very nice V-trigger. We had a nice spin kick by Velvet. Velvet then with a beautiful tope suicida spiked herself into Jade Cargill, right into the barricade. Jade then tossed Velvet into the women's roster at ringside. Cargill then with a stalling suplex into the ring. Cargill then with a Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2. We had a Trouble in Paradise by Red Velvet. Cargill hit the post shoulder first. Red Velvet with a big clothesline, wheelbarrow facebuster, and a standing moonsault for a 2. She went for a moonsault from the top, but she missed. Cargill then hit the Glam Slam, and Jade Cargill defeats Red Velvet. A damn good match for what it was. Jade Cargill, she is slowly coming along. Red Velvet, she's very, very good at what she does. I did not see anything in Red Velvet at first. I saw a fucking jobber. She's very much impressed me. Very impressed with what Jade Cargill is doing. I think that over time, Jade Cargill is going to be a big deal. And by next year in the fall of 2022, I can definitely see Jade Cargill in the women's world title picture. Anthony Ogogo versus Cole Carter. Anthony Ogogo, all he did was hit a swift punch to the gut, and the ref stopped the match. Ogogo won via TKO. I don't understand the appeal with Anthony Ogogo. I don't understand what the issue here is. I don't understand why he even needed to be on television. I don't understand why we need to care about Anthony Ogogo, Nick Camarado, or Aaron Solo. I don't understand. Because the main story here is QT Marshall and Cody, right? So why didn't you just have QT Marshall compete, and QT Marshall is building up towards a match between himself and Cody at Double or Nothing, right? So I don't understand why we needed to see Anthony Ogogo compete when everyone else is pretty much just a side character. It's fucking stupid. On top of that, he's a former boxer. Great. I don't want to see a boxer doing boxing moves in a wrestling ring. It's stupid. Anthony Ogogo, Aaron Solo, and Nick Comoroto, what reason do we have to care about them? They're all supporting characters. The main story is QT Marshall and Cody. Why should we care about anybody else? So I don't understand why you didn't just have QT go out there and do this. QT versus Colt Carter should have been the squash match, not Anthony Ogogo. So Miro was cutting a promo. He says he's moving on with or without Kip, finally. He says, if you have gold around your waist, I highly recommend you pull a Kip and disappear because I'm coming for you. So, should be pretty interesting to see what happens here. And I can definitely see Miro in the TNT Championship title picture, hopefully after Double or Nothing. And I would like to see Lance Archer versus Miro. I think that would be a great program. We had Dax Harwood. Dax Harwood versus Chris Jericho. Special guest enforcer Mike Tyson. Dax Harwood, he is very, very good at what he does. He's very, very good. Dax Harwood, he's very, very underappreciated. I'm not sure what people shit on Dax Harwood about, but he's very, very good at what he does. So Jericho and Harwood, they were brawling on the outside. Jericho actually spiked Harwood with a pen. Harwood took over. He got in Tyson's face before Jericho came back with a diving axe handle. Very nice lion salt for a 2. Jericho came back with a huge lariat for a 2. Dax Harwood with a slingshot powerbomb for a 2. Dax missed the diving headbutt. Jericho with the walls of Jericho. He dragged... This was kind of stupid. He dragged Jericho. He dragged Harwood away from the ropes, but he dragged him all the way over to the ropes just so Cash could punch him in the head right behind the referee's back. That looks stupid. Sammy then took out Cash. We had a brainbuster by Harwood, but Jericho kicked out. Jericho then hit the code breaker before the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle started brawling on the stage. They started brawling on the stage, which looked awesome. And then Cash tried to hit Jericho with the bat, but Tyson knocked him out with a nice left hook. Jericho hit the Judas effect for the win, and Chris Jericho wins a very good match here with Dax Harwood leading up into Blood and Guts on, what was it, May 5th, I believe? Yeah, May 5th. So I'm guessing that this is the end of Mike Tyson. He was made an honorary member of the Inner Circle here, and that was pretty much it. There's really no reason for Mike Tyson to continue on and be a friend to Jericho. There really isn't. There really isn't a reason for Mike Tyson to continue on and continue being buddy-buddy with Jericho. My guess is that this is going to be the end of Mike Tyson in AEW for a while. And after Blood and Guts, Jericho's going to go away. And I can definitely see Sammy and MJF facing off one-on-one at Double or Nothing. I can definitely see Sammy and MJF one-on-one Double or Nothing. Makes sense. Chris Statlander versus Amber Nova. This was a very nice enhancement match for Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander looked damn good. Very nice military press, twisting leg drop, flipping senton, big running knee, big roundhouse kick. She won with the Big Bang Theory. Chris Statlander looks great. Chris Statlander looks in phenomenal shape. And Chris Statlander, around this time next year, she is definitely someone that I can see becoming the AEW Women's World Champion. She is definitely someone that should become the AEW Women's World Champion. I think that's going to be great because Britt Baker, that title is hers. Then they're going to give it to Thunder Rosa, and then we're going to see Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander one-on-one. We're going to be in for some damn good women's wrestling as time goes on. Tony Schiavone, he interviewed Christian Cage. Taz came out and he says, I don't get a text or a phone call. You don't even acknowledge me. Obviously talking about the offer that he offered Mr. Christian Cage. Cage says, Team Taz, you said it yourself, is a bit of a dumpster fire. I didn't come here to fix your problems. I came here to win championships. So my answer is no. So Taz called him a shitbag, and then he says your buddy carried your ass through your career. He then sicked Will Hobbs on him. So a big brawl broke out. Hobbs took a shot after a distraction, or after a distraction from Taz's son Hook, and Hobbs took over and just beat down Christian Cage. Next week we get Hobbs versus Christian Cage. That should be a very interesting match. We also got Shida and Ty Conti for the AEW Women's World title. We get Ricky Starks and Adam Hangman Page, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing. Trent versus Penta El Cero Miedo next week. And we also got Jungle Boy. Yes, it was made official. Jungle Boy, who's in the top 5 rankings, he is facing off against Darby Allin for the TNT title next week. That should be fucking excellent. I can't wait to see that. Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin. This is a Falls Count Anywhere match for the TNT Championship. Matt brought in a chair immediately. He hit Darby in the back with it. Hardy kept the aggression on. We had a nice hanging neck breaker for a 2. Darby then reversed the twist of fate. He used the chair on Hardy before the Hardy family office came out and attacked Darby. Butcher and the Blade were setting up the steps before Sting and the Dark Order came out. Just a fucking chaotic brawl, a fucking chaotic mess. There are way too many fucking chaotic brawls, way too many big clusterfucks of these big fights. It just takes away the prestige, and it makes the show just feel like a free-for-all. It makes it feel stupid. It really does. I'm sorry. I don't know what their motive here with it is, but this needs to stop. Archer then came out and stopped Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky from going after Sting. I don't know where the fuck they fit into this. Archer then took out Isaiah Cassidy with the blackout right in front of Sting. Sting watched as Archer left, and then we finally get back to the match. Allen was then given the bat by Sting. Hardy with a low blow. We had a twist of fate with the steel chair, but Darby kicked out. Match spiraled into the back. Hardy then draped Darby over the table, and he did a leg drop off of a ladder through the table. Allen still kicked out. Back at ringside, Allen with a low blow to Hardy. Allen with a bat. He hit Hardy with it right in the gut. He put Hardy on the announce table. Allen then climbed the steel platform and the steel scaffolding, and he did a fucking coffin drop from the skies through the table. Darby Allin is a fucking madman, I swear to God. Darby Allin, he retains the TNT Championship, rightfully so, as he should. Darby Allin gets the victory over Mr. Hardy. Last 5 minutes of the match were great, but there are way too many chaotic brawls, way too many clusterfuck brawls. It really does take away the prestige of the match, and it really does take away the importance of the match. The last 5 minutes were great, but it could have been so much better. That was pretty much Dynamite. Decent show. Next week looks like a pay-per-view. Next week looks like a fucking pay-per-view. Next week should be great. Yes, Danielle, I'm very, very happy there are no dislikes as well. Glad you are still here. That was the AEW Dynamite review. Thank you very much for sticking around. I greatly appreciate you. We are about 6 likes away from 30 likes. So if you guys can please share it out and get more people in here so we can get 30 likes, I would greatly appreciate it. We want to get to 30 likes, and then I would be a happy DJ. I'll be a happy DJ Storms. You already know the drill. So we are going to talk about NXT UK. We are going to talk about NXT UK. NXT UK was actually a fairly decent episode. So I'm not sure what is going to happen with NXT UK, but we actually got a fairly decent episode with NXT UK, and we are going to dissect everything as far as NXT UK goes. NXT UK kicked off with Saxon Huxley versus Nathan Fraser. Nathan Fraser, he ended up winning here with the Big Frog Splash for the win. He has been continuing to win. He has not lost a match in 3 months. And I'm not sure what they're building him up towards, but I can definitely see him possibly fighting for the NXT UK Heritage Cup. Although I don't see a reason why Tyler Bate would not win the UK Heritage Cup from A-Kid. I have a feeling that it could very well be Tyler Bate's time, and they could possibly give Tyler Bate a nice little bone there. Not sure. But I definitely would not mind them giving Nathan Frazier a shot at A-Kid and a shot at the Heritage Cup. I would not mind them giving Nathan Frazier the Heritage Cup. Maybe they give him a shot at Walter. I don't know. We had Supernova 11 sessions with Gallus. Gallus actually sat on Noam Dar's couch. So, he says, Mark Coffey said that they took time to refocus, to train in the morning. We picked ourselves up. Wolfgang said he's trying to control his temper and focus on the Gallus goals. Before Eddie Dennis came out, he says, Joe Coffey, you want a rampage? How about you start with the one guy you've been avoiding? So Primate and T-Bone then came out and they attacked Gallus. We had a big brawl as Noam Dar just watched it go down. That was pretty much that. So next week we got Eddie Dennis versus none other than Joe Coffey. That should be a very interesting match next week. Next week we also got Danny Luna versus Ginny. And we also got Noam Dar and Shaw Samuels versus Mustache Mountain. That should be interesting. I'm glad that Mustache Mountain is back. I actually hope that Mustache Mountain stays together because I actually like to see Mustache Mountain win the tag team titles. That's the biggest story with Mustache Mountain. If Mustache Mountain are going to stay together, I would do Mustache Mountain winning the tag team titles from Pretty Deadly later on in the year. But we got Isla Dawn versus Amelia McKenzie next. This was actually pretty decent for what it was. Pretty decent women's wrestling right here. Dawn came in with a drop kick. She kept the aggression on Amelia McKenzie. McKenzie then with a slingshot spear for a 2. Very nicely done there. We had a fisherman suplex by Dawn for a 2. McKenzie with a teardrop suplex for a 2. Dawn then with a nasty fucking punt kick and a nasty German suplex. Absolutely folded Amelia McKenzie up like a fucking accordion. Looked fucking brutal. And Isla Dawn got the win here. She got her win back from last week against Amelia McKenzie. Not really sure who's next in line for Kaylee Ray, but I can definitely see Eva Valkyrie in Kaylee Ray's future. We got Ashton Smith versus Jack Stars. This was fucking terrible. Jack Stars and this partnership with Piper Niven is just fucking stupid. I don't understand the appeal of it. Jack Stars looks like a fucking jobber. You telling me that this guy rolled up Ashton Smith for the win? Fucking stupid. It's not going to work. This underdog gimmick, it's really not going to work. I am much more focused on seeing a guy like Ashton Smith actually fight in the tag team division with Oliver Carter, considering that the tag team division is a pretty deep fucking tag team division. So I would like to focus on that, please. Please. This was fucking terrible. Stars rolled up Ashton Smith for the win. I have no idea where they're going with this, to be quite honest. I don't care. Kenny Williams versus Amir Jordan. This was actually a great match for the 13 minutes that it went. It's actually a great match right here between Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. The fight started out immediately. Amir Jordan kept the aggression on Williams. Williams went over the steps leg first. He hurt his knee. Jordan kept the aggression on him still. Williams came back and targeted the shoulder. Williams then slapped Jordan right in the fucking face. A big-ass slap. Jordan then came back with a missile drop kick and a running neck breaker. We had an Edge-O-Matic for a 2. We then had a Swanton Bomb, the Bomb-IA Bomb by Amir Jordan for a 2. Back and forth offense, we had an Enziguri by Amir Jordan. Williams then with a rebound lariat, and both men are down. We had a wheelbarrow facebuster by Williams for a 2. Williams then missed the mule kick, and then Amir Jordan caught him with a super kick for a close 2 count. This shit was actually ingenious here by Kenny Williams. he took the middle turnbuckle and he just slightly pushed the turnbuckle up, slightly exposing the steel portion of the turnbuckle, and he sent Amir Jordan's shoulder first into it, and then behind the referee's back, he fixed the turnbuckle, then hit a headlock driver, and Williams ended up getting the win. That was actually ingenious by Kenny Williams, and I actually got to give Kenny Williams a lot of credit there. I actually thought that was a very, very, very nicely executed move right there. Definitely was not expecting that whatsoever. And Kenny Williams gets the win, rightfully so. I don't know where Kenny Williams goes, but I can definitely see Kenny Williams in the Heritage Cup hunt. I definitely would not mind seeing Kenny Williams versus guys like Tyler Bate, Kenny Williams versus guys like Amir Jordan. Definitely wouldn't mind that. A-Kid, Trent Seven should be very, very interesting. I definitely would not mind seeing that at all. I think that would be very, very good. But that's what I can see happening. This match was a great match. Best match of the specific show. If you want to go out of your way to watch it, you definitely can. It was actually very good. And that was pretty much NXT UK for you. Let's check the chat one last time before we hit the last review. And then we can get out of here. Because I know that a lot of people want to get out of here. It's almost dinner time. I'm actually going to head over to my grandma's in a little bit. Because I'm actually going to get some dinner. I'm actually going to get me some prosciutto and mozzarella sandwich. Prosciutto mozzarella sandwich with some olive oil. Maybe some, what else? Hopefully they have some lettuce and tomato on there. Some good Italian subs, you know. I'm an Italian sub guy. I like to have some of that. But, yes, Danielle, what would you like to tell me before we get into the SmackDown portion of the review? Let's check what's going on social media. Let's actually check what's going on Twitter to see if anybody else got released. Because I know that they were saying that more releases are said to come. Has anybody else gotten released yet? We are going to find out. Has anybody else gotten released yet? My computer, of course, is slow as shit. Let us see. Did anybody else get released yet? Not that I see. Not that I see. It does not look like it. It's going to take a little bit to load. Of course, you love to dab, Danielle, but what is it? What is it that you needed to tell me? You said my name. You said DJ. What did you need to tell me? You gonna tell me or no? What do you need to tell me? How's it going, Big Boy Johnny? How are you? We're going to talk about SmackDown in a little bit, actually. SmackDown, which was terrible. Lazy fucking booking all over fucking SmackDown. And I don't know why the fuck Cesaro is even being positioned to take on Roman Reigns now. But, we're going to talk about, SmackDown. We're going to talk about SmackDown. So, SmackDown, like I said, was fucking terrible. I don't know where the fuck they're going. I don't know why the fuck they are being so lazy and being so complacent with SmackDown, but it honestly pisses me off. I don't know why. I really don't know why that they would go forth with this, but we're going to talk about it. So Roman, Uso, and Heyman kicked off the show. Pat McAfee on commentary. He's actually doing a great job. Pat McAfee did great. So Heyman talked about Roman Reigns' victory. Roman Reigns says, I called my shot. I stacked him and pinned him 1, 2, 3. He said, nobody's on my level. Fire up the jet, Paul. It's time to go. So Roman Reigns is about to leave. All of a sudden, Cesaro's music hits. And Cesaro comes out. Cesaro approached Roman. He walked to get a microphone, but before he could even get the microphone, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso, they just walked up the ramp. And you know what? That fits Roman Reigns' character, and that was great. That was great, and I think that what's going to happen in the future when this eventually comes to fruition, which I don't think it's going to come to fruition now, because after what happened at the end with Seth Rollins, I don't see Cesaro going up against Roman yet. I don't know who they pit against Roman at Backlash, but I would definitely not do Cesaro. Cesaro then approached Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce. He says he wanted a match with Roman. Sonya said he'll get back to him. So after that, we get Otis versus Rey Mysterio. This literally went 2 fucking minutes. I don't know how anyone can even care about this. Rey Mysterio won with a crucifix powerbomb. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can definitely see Rey and Dominic potentially fighting for the tag team titles at WrestleMania Backlash. We'll see what happens. Paul Heyman was interviewed by Caleb Braxton, and he says that Cesaro's going to face Jey Uso. And Jey Uso, once again, is going to take an L, or was going to take an L. Main event Jey Uso. How much more can you shove that down everybody's throats? Sami Zayn came out. He said that the headline should have been Sami got screwed. Logan Paul's mind was poisoned by Kevin Owens, by the WWE Universe, talking bad about me. Everyone got in his head. I was distracted. And that was the only reason Owens squeaked out a victory. Give me what I want, Kevin. Come on out. Nothing will distract me. So we get Owens and Zayn again, which I don't understand why. I don't understand why you're not building this up towards WrestleMania Backlash. But we get this match. A WrestleMania rematch. Goes to show you how fucking lazy WWE is. Zayn with a sunset flip powerbomb for a 2. Coming back from commercial, Owens with a super kick for a 2. Swanton bomb by Owens for a 2. Owens was then caught, but he fought out of it. He had a knee drop brainbuster for a 2. Sami raked Owens' eyes, and then Sami Zayn walked away. And Owens wins via a countout. Afterwards, he went after Sami Zayn, brought him back into the ring, and gave him a stunner. So I don't really understand. I don't understand why we are getting Owens and Zayn here again when you could have easily built up Owens and Zayn again towards WrestleMania Backlash. But again, who the fuck am I? I don't know what's going to happen. We're probably going to get another match between these two at WrestleMania Backlash. And then after that, I can absolutely see these two being in the Money in the Bank ladder match on the Smackdown side. And if so, if I'm booking a Money in the Bank ladder match, I'm absolutely putting Sami and Kevin Owens in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Apollo Crews was interviewed, and he introduced Commander Aziz. And he said anyone who tries to take his Intercontinental title, you'll have to answer to the Nigerian nail. So, I'm actually interested to see how this Nigerian prince gimmick favors with the new commander, Commander Aziz. I think that's going to be very, 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 very nice. Let's see what happens there. Apollo and Commander Aziz, they have a nice look. Almost reminds me a little bit of MJF and Wardlow. Street Profits came out. And it was Bianca Belair's championship celebration. They talk about Bianca and Banks at WrestleMania. They replayed what happened with Bianca winning. They introduced Bianca. Bianca said that no matter how hard it gets, you can change the game. If you can dream it, you can do it. She thanked Sasha for pushing her harder than anyone else. They all hug. And they do the "We Want the Smoke" line before Belair leaves. And we get ready for the SmackDown Tag Team title match. Banks was in the back, and she actually couldn't get a word out with Caleb Braxton, and she just walked away. So, interesting there. Looks like Sasha Banks, she is not done with Bianca. And to be quite honest with you, with the division that WWE has, There should be no fucking reason that Bianca Belair sees a day under 365 as champion. So, I do not want to hear any excuses. Bianca Belair should not see a day under 365 as champion. So, after that, we get Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode versus the Street Profits. This is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This was a good match. We've seen it a couple times, but this was probably the best match of the entire night. I thought this was a damn good match for what it was, and a couple of people are surprised by the outcome. A lot of people were surprised by the outcome. To be quite honest with you, this was the right outcome, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Jimmy Uso is due back any day now. I'd like to hope. I don't understand why Jimmy Uso has not made a return yet. I really don't understand why. But either way, Jimmy Uso should be back, okay? Jimmy Uso should be back. The fact that he's not back is completely fucking ridiculous. But regardless, the Usos are your next champions. The Usos are the next SmackDown Tag Team Champions. What sense would it really make to put the titles back on the Street Profits or put them on Rey and Dominic Mysterio if they're only going to have a month and a half reign as champions just to drop them to the Usos? No, it's not like the SmackDown Tag Team titles have any value to begin with, but build longevity. Build longevity. Keep the titles on Roode and Ziggler. Surpass their title reign over 100 days. And then when the time's right, then you transfer it to the Usos. You don't need to do that babyface versus heel dynamic. It's such an outdated fucking concept that's really not needed, if you know what I'm saying. So, regardless of how you look at it, this was the right outcome. And on top of that, I don't necessarily mind Roode and Ziggler as the tag team champions. The matches that they've had haven't been bad. We've had two decent title defenses. They look great. They win clean. They're holding the titles more than 100 days, so I can't really complain about that. They're having a nice, lengthy title reign, like they should. They're having a nice, lengthy title reign, so I can't really complain about that. So at the end of the day, you keep the titles on them, build longevity, and then transfer it to the Usos. And then the Usos can do the same thing, build longevity. But I didn't mind this whatsoever. Natalya versus Shayna Baszler. Natalya rolled up Baszler in less than 2 minutes. Afterwards, Tamina booted Nia in the face and they walked off. Why the fuck this is still continuing, I don't even fucking know. I don't even fucking know why this is still continuing. I do not want to see another match between these two, but if it means getting the titles off of Shayna and Nia and we get Shayna Baszler winning the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match and Shayna Baszler is the new Raw Women's Champion, that I don't mind. That I don't mind. But I'm still trying to figure out where the fucking Riot Squad is. Come on, I mean, come on. You have the Riot Squad on your roster and you're not going to fucking utilize them? Fucking stupid. Cesaro versus Jey Uso. This was the standard Jey Uso obligatory main event on SmackDown that we've seen week after week. It's getting really fucking tiresome. But Cesaro was in control early. Uso was on the receiving end of a deadlift suplex and a big crossbody for a 2. We had a super kick by Jey Uso for a 2. Cesaro with an avalanche gut-wrench suplex. Springboard Swiss uppercut. Uso with a nice back suplex neck breaker for a 2. Cesaro then was delivering the swing. Round and round we go. But out of nowhere, Seth Rollins attacked and caused a disqualification, and he laid out Cesaro. Rollins then screamed, "You got lucky one time. This isn't over. Nothing is over until I say it's over. I am the end-all, be-all of this industry." Rollins, you are not the end-all, be-all of the industry. Who do you think you are? You think you're DJ Storms? You see, I'm the end-all, be-all of the wrestling community. I'm the end-all, be-all of pro wrestling analytics, but you, the end-all, be-all of the wrestling industry? No. Sorry, brother. But normally I would shit on Seth Rollins attacking Cesaro and continuing the feud, but I'm not going to shit on that. That's the one thing I will not shit on this show. And the reason why I'm not going to shit on that is because of the simple fact that Cesaro, he should not be challenging Roman Reigns anytime between now and SummerSlam, because any individual, it doesn't matter who you are, any individual that challenges Roman between now and SummerSlam is in for an automatic L. Will they be enhanced? Yes. Will they be better off for it? Yes. But they're not going to win. Roman is not losing that title until SummerSlam at the earliest. Roman Reigns should not be losing that title until SummerSlam. So if you are going to do Cesaro, you are to save him. Now, I don't mind if this is a little tease as to what is to come in the future with Cesaro and Roman. That I don't mind, but at the end of the fucking day, in no way, shape, or form should Cesaro be anywhere near Roman until SummerSlam hits. Because then you have multiple options. You could either give Cesaro the title at SummerSlam, or if you want to, you can have him lose because of interference from Jey Uso. Then you can have a Clash of Champions match. You can have him go to a disqualification. Then you can have Roman and Cesaro inside Hell in a Cell. That way, at that point, Roman Reigns and his title reign will be well over 400 days. You can give Cesaro the championship then, and he can take the title into WrestleMania. And Roman Reigns can go off and do his own thing. Either way, Cesaro is the guy. Cesaro is the guy to beat Roman Reigns. You're not going to have Dwayne beat him, or Brock beat him, or fucking Daniel Bryan, or Edge, or Rollins. Those are all made individuals. You're not going to have fucking Apollo beat him as the Intercontinental Champion. Big E's not ready. Sami Zayn, yeah, right. When did WWE ever see Sami Zayn as a world championship athlete? Same thing with Shinsuke Nakamura. Kevin Owens, he's been there, done that. He's had his fucking title opportunities. There is nobody more perfect than Cesaro. Right now, as we speak, unless somebody else comes along, if Roman Reigns drops that title to anybody not named Cesaro, you would have fucked up big time. You would have fucked up big time. Cesaro is the guy. In no way, shape, or form should Cesaro be challenging Roman at any moment before SummerSlam. What would the fucking point be if he's just going to lose? You saw what they did with Kevin Owens after Kevin Owens came out of his feud with Roman Reigns. Was he better off? Yeah, he was better off, but WWE didn't capitalize on Kevin Owens. Instead, they just threw him together with Sami Zayn, and more likely than not, they're going to throw him in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then after the Money in the Bank ladder match, Kevin Owens is going to be fucking directionless again. That's on WWE's fault, not Roman Reigns. But at the end of the fucking day, why would you put Cesaro against Roman if he's going to lose? If Cesaro is up against Roman, then it's going to be when he's good and ready by SummerSlam or anytime after SummerSlam. And when Cesaro goes up against Roman, he has to win. He has to win. End of conversation. Cesaro and Roman, you give the title to Cesaro because there's nobody better. There's nobody better. Smackdown was terrible. Not as bad as Raw, but without Roman Reigns, it would have been just as bad as Raw. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. You guys were fantastic. Adam, you were fantastic. Johnny, you were fantastic. Cool King, Earl Cole, Big Fight Feel, Rob Wells Jr., DD, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Check out both rewinds for WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 if you missed it. Next week's going to be a busy week as well. Me and Escobar Morales are working on something. I might do a little collaboration with Escobar Morales sooner rather than later. So I will keep you guys updated on that. Of course, April is coming to an end. Crazy to think. April's almost over. I don't even know how to perceive it. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. I am going to get out of here, and I am going to get ready for a nice Italian sub dinner because that's what I'm all about. Thank you, each and every single one of you who tuned in, and you guys have an awesome, awesome, awesome weekend.